Alabama's WVUA News at 5 with your award-winning news team, Lynn Brooks, Terry Brewer, weather with Richard Scott, and sports with Gary Harris.
We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Lynn Brooks.
And I am Terry Brewer. Today marks the start to National Women's Health Week. WVUA will be focusing on various topics throughout the week regarding women's health.
That's right, and today the focus is on heart attacks and strokes in women. More now in tonight's top story. According to the National Coalition for Women with Heart Disease, more than 200,000 women die each year from heart attacks. That is 5 times as many women as breast cancer. Dr. Tucker Lee with the University of Alabama's Medical Center says it's important for women to understand the symptoms of heart attacks in women are not like the classic chest pain. They can start, in fact, with nausea and upset stomach. Dr. Lee says women should know their family history in regards to strokes and heart attacks, and it's easier to prevent them than it is to backtrack.
Easy things are eating a low-fat, high-fiber diet. Exercising, that means getting hot and sweaty 30 minutes a day, at least 4 or 5 times a week. Regular preventative health care. So again, things that are taken care of on the front end are usually a lot easier to deal with than on the back end.
Dr. Lee says quitting smoking and having moderate alcohol intake are also ways to prevent heart attacks or strokes. He also suggests seeing your doctor if any symptoms occur. WVUA will have much more coming up for you tonight on WVUA News at 6.
Businesses destroyed by last April's tornado are making progress on rebuilding, and some of the popular ones are close to opening their doors. Places like Krispy Kreme, Full Moon Barbecue, and Hokkaido are making progress. The Tuscaloosa hotspots are located right in the heart of the city. Both Full Moon and Hokkaido have jumped across the street from their original locations, but the signs of progress are positive. Full Moon owner Brian Ahmed tells WVUA although the road to rebuilding has had its difficulties, he's excited to have his business coming back better than ever.
You can't beat this. I mean, it's going to be a beautiful building. It's one of our best looking prototypes that we're going to put together. So we're going to have a true Full Moon barbecue restaurant with all the bells and the whistles. So we're very excited.
Full Moon plans to reopen in mid-July and Krispy Kreme in mid-August.
Music lovers, listen up. The reigning king of blues is headed to T-Town. Talking about legendary musician B.B. King is bringing his show to the Amp. King and his famed guitar Lucille will take the stage Saturday, August 25th. Some of his biggest hits include The Thrill Is Gone, How Blue Can You Get, and Every Day I Have the Blues. Just listen to that. You can get more information about this concert and others at the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater by going to WVUATV.com, click numbers and links.
We have an update on a fire this past weekend that temporarily shut down a local manufacturer. On Saturday, fire trucks responded to a fire at the Warrior Asphalt refining plant. Neighbors say they heard an explosion and saw smoke. The fire reduced production at the plant by nearly 40%. The exact cause of the fire remains unknown, but it's under investigation. They expect to resume normal operations in the next 3 weeks.
WVUA is covering Perry County, where sewage problems continue to threaten downstream areas. The Alabama Department of Environmental Management warns that it could take up to a few weeks or a few months before the sewage in the water is completely washed downstream. As we've reported, 2 spills from the Uniontown Sewage Treatment Facility have been repaired, but regulators say they still pose a danger. State records show that there have been numerous leaks from the Perry County town's sewage plant since back in 2005.
New for you at 5 o'clock, Redstone Arsenal is one of Alabama's top gross domestic products. A new study shows the government facility totaled for 6% of the state's total product in 2010. Researchers say the arsenal is responsible for roughly $11.5 billion and more than 100,000 jobs. Much of the impact is in the Madison, Limestone, Lawrence, and Morgan County areas. The study also found tax revenues through the arsenal, contractors, and related business totals more than $360 million. Severe
weather alerts could come to you in something as simple as a text message. A new program starting today will notify people of dangerous weather and other emergencies that could be hazardous. The wireless emergency alert system is free and consumers do not have to sign up. You will get a text on your phone if there's an emergency in your area, including tornado warnings, flash floods, hurricanes, blizzards, and other natural disasters. Police in Mexico are investigating one of the largest massacres in recent years. At least 49 bodies were found in garbage bags on the side of the road between the cities of Monterrey and Reynosa.
Officials say the bodies were found decapitated and dismembered. Rafael Romo has more.
Investigators say all of the bodies were both decapitated and mutilated. The victims were 43 men and 6 women, according to local authorities in the Mexican border state of Nuevo León.
In every single case, and in order to complicate the identification process, the victims were missing their head, and they also had their upper and lower extremities mutilated.
The bodies were found in Cadereyta, near the industrial city of Monterrey, and only about 80 miles southwest of McAllen, Texas. Messages left by the bodies claim the cartel known as Los Zetas was behind the massacre.
In the last few days, we haven't had reports of large numbers of missing people. That's why we believe there's a possibility that the victims could be from a different state or migrants. We're not ruling out any possibility at this point.
It's one of the worst massacres in Mexico in recent years. The bodies of 72 migrants were found in 2010 in the state of Tamaulipas, only 100 miles from the U.S. border. 26 bodies were found last November in Guadalajara, Mexico's second largest city, and last Wednesday, an additional 18 bodies were discovered in the same city. Mexican President Felipe Calderón last month blamed the violence on an insatiable appetite for drugs.
The key is to cut off the flow coming from up north, because if criminals in Mexico didn't get $15 billion a year from American consumers, we would have been able to finish them off a long time ago. They have a permanent flow of weapons as well, which makes them particularly powerful. We've confiscated 140,000 weapons in 5 years.
President Calderón sent additional troops and federal police to Mexican border states in 2010, including the same area where Sunday's massacre happened. The states of Nuevo León and Tamaulipas, which share a border with Texas, have seen an increase in violence caused by a turf war between the Gulf Cartel and Los Zetas, two of the most powerful criminal organizations in the hemisphere. Rafael Romo, CNN, Atlanta.
A message written on a nearby wall where the bodies were found appears to refer to the Zetas drug cartel, but officials say they won't rule out the possibility that the victims could be immigrants.
Coming up next in Home Team Weather, we are dry, mild across the deep south. What about the chance of any rain in the forecast, plus hot temperatures to talk about? Your forecast is after the break.
Could something in your home be harmful to your toddler? We'll show you what you need to know about your child's safety. Plus, the Crimson Tide softball team will host an NCAA regional this coming weekend. Sports Director Gary Harris will have all the details in Alabama's Home Team Sports.